Hello there, and welcome to Science and Sorcery. You might be thinking, who is this? What is she doing here? I'm Liv, and nice to meet you. I'm Liv Kennedy, I'm a GM, and today I'm going to be GMing the Red Dragon's Blessing, and using the Thirsty Sword Lesbians system for it by Evil Hat. It's a good system, very gay, and we're making it very Welsh. So I think we'll head around and go to our all Welsh player set. Including myself, I am Welsh. And we'll introduce ourselves. So, should we start with you, Kat?
Hi, I'm Kat. I am a mathematician and Twitch streamer over in Kat Does Maths. I am also part of the Queer Equality and Diversity Network, helping queer mathematicians in the UK find each other and say hi. And yeah, I talk about numbers on the internet and all the cool stuff. I'm very excited for today. I'm also Welsh. Ellie?
Hi, I'm Ellie. I'm a theatre maker and a podcaster. You can most commonly find me on the internet on Deck of Many Aces, which is an actual play podcast made by an all-aromantic and asexual cast and crew. I'm excited to be here today in an all-Welsh cast and crew. Yay! Yeah, I'm really excited for today as well. I'll pass on to Eira.
Hi, I'm Eira, and I make podcasts and audio dramas. You can most commonly find me under the moniker Hanging Sloth. I make the things I'm releasing at the moment are Remnants and Not Quite Dead, which is a show about vampires, and both of those shows are very interested in science and history. So.
Amazing. Everyone here is better at science and maths than I am. Maybe we'll find out. So thank you everyone for being here today. I just want to say a big shout out because tonight's game is part of Science and Sorcery's Season of Queer Communities, and it's made possible by Pride in STEM. So thank you very much for letting us do this. I'm always down to be gay on streams. So yeah, we'll be having a halfway point break as well. So you'll have like 10 minutes to go and chill if you want to while hanging out with us. Also, content warnings for this game are going to be romance. You would probably think that with Thirsty Sword Lesbians, possibly. Also, kind of like, I would say maybe a smidge of like, not graphic body stuff, but like, you know, bodies changing, that kind of thing. And I would say maybe complicated relationships with parental figures and arranged marriage, I think is what I would give to you as content warnings. So with that being said, shall we jump right in, folks?
Sure, yeah, let's do it.
Cool, great, cool. Imagine if you've been like, actually, I don't know.
I'm not feeling it.
I'm not feeling it right now, so maybe don't. All right, here we go. Wales is known for many things you can instantly associate with it. A yellow daffodil swaying in its rolling green hills, sheep lazily wandering about the vast open fields, and leeks which were literally worn as proof of your Welsh heritage historically. However, none are as iconic as the Red Dragon. The Red Dragon appears on the Welsh flag, a symbol of the fearlessness of the Welsh people against an invading White Dragon. Where Wales has their Red Dragon, the White Dragon is symbolic of the English. If the Welsh are fighting anything, it's usually the English. As the story goes, the Red and White Dragons fought tooth and nail to decide the fate of the Welsh. If Wales would become a part of England, or if it would remain its own standalone nation. Today, we'll be deciding that fate. Our three heroes have been dispatched, thanks to their bravery, smarts, and unique talents, to work with Welsh Princess, here we go, Erin Thirk Ariam 1. I am Welsh, but you know, sometimes you're like,
No, it's all the transcriptions had a real time with that.
Oh, I bet. Like, she just made some noises. Wow. The princess is not only important thanks to her royal status, but also because she is the recipient of the Red Dragon's blessing. Those who are bestowed with this blessing exhibit great power, being able to harness fire, having a presence that can be used to make foes quake in their boots, and sometimes even being able to take flight. Why have you been called to her aid? Well, her parents, Queen Arian Wenferk Elenad and King Riddick Ab Awain, have called you to Harlech Castle to help the princess with a huge problem. She cannot seem to control her powers. Fires are constant, the people run in fear, and most terribly for the king, who must keep up appearances, Patches of red scales have started appearing on Iwan's skin. The people mustn't think that the royal family isn't in control of the situation. If word spreads, the cult of the White Dragon might get wind and decide to strike. Tonight, you are on hand to assist the princess in whatever she might need at the King's Ball, an occasion of great renown throughout the kingdom that the royal family simply can't cancel, even if Iwan is struggling with her powers. So, tell me, where are each of you in this grand ballroom on the night of the ball, and what are you each doing? Shall we start with Mathilda?
Sure, yeah, I think...
Or Matilda?
I think it's Matilda.
Matilda.
It's just an extra unnecessary Anglo-Saxon H. I think Matilda is probably really on the edges of the room, like maybe glued next to a pillar or another sort of like structure, watching the crowd with a mixture of wariness and envy. She is... Should I describe her?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Please go ahead.
She's about 5'6", 5'7", and very, very ghostly pale, with very, very pale blonde hair as well, which she wears in a plait. And she's in relatively plain clothes for a ball, just quite a understated blue dress, quite conservative, and yeah, she looks like she'd certainly be interested in joining the party, but she's very much not the life of it and isn't quite sure where to place herself at the moment.
Sure thing. I think there are other people dotted around around the edges, not next to you. You're not like a group. You're like each kind of like keeping to yourselves. I think some people are noble, some people are kind of like a part of the court. And it makes sense that you're feeling out of place because you were invited here for a certain reason. Why do you have to attend the ball, But it's to keep an eye on the princess. And speaking of which, you can see her sat at the table, like the table, like near the throne, just in front of the throne, at the head of the ballroom. You've got the king smack bang in the center, who is like a mountain of a man, very big, very tall, like a thick beard streaked with silver, and really sharp eyes like cold steel. He's wearing like a heavy crown that's like almost jagged at the edges, like a broken sword. And he is sat next to the queen. The queen is on his right side. I believe that makes sense in historical, like royal stuff. She wears a midnight blue gown embroidered with silver constellations. She's got dark hair streaked with a single line of silver. And if you look very carefully, you can't see it like right now, but because you've been like in close quarters with her, occasionally you can see little bits of burn marks on her skin when you get a bit too close, which she tries to conceal desperately from any onlookers. And then on the king's left, you have the princess, Iwan. She's got copper red hair that's kind of like flowing out and really hard to control. Even though the queen and the king have tried to get her to tame it, she refuses. And she's dressed in royal silks. And if you once again get a bit closer, you can see that like there's not only like a few scars dotted around on her, but there's also like if you get really close, you can see a kind of like shimmer in her eyes, almost like they're golden, and everyone else is like dancing, having a literal ball. Is there anything you'd like to do, or are you gonna try and look at your companions and see what they're up to?
At the moment, I will just be seeking out my companions, who I believe I've met them before, but I don't have a super close relationship with them at the moment. So
yeah, it's purely business as of now. You've been trying to figure out why the princess's powers have been going so out of whack, and they're more of the thinkers, and you're here to protect. So if we scan the ballroom and see where Faust is.
Yeah, I think I'd be looking hard for Faust.
Sure. Where do you think Faust is, Eira?
I think he's probably sat on a trunk or something near the edge of the room. Faust is a stoat So he's about 25 centimeters long, and he's really tiny, and it's really inconvenient if you're trying to keep an eye on people. And it's also really inconvenient when there's people walking around, dancing, feasting, having conversations. You don't want to accidentally get stood on.
Inconsiderate of them.
Yeah, it'd be terrible. So he's sat on a little trunk with a tiny little thimble of some kind of wine, just kind of looking out at the party, trying to gauge any suspicious activity. Okay,
interesting. Why don't you roll to figure a person out? This is going to be just generally, I think. So that's going to be 2d6 plus your wit.
Okay.
Like.
So I've got 6 on my roll.
Okay.
And plus 2, so 8.
An 8, so that's a mixed success. So instead of like asking questions towards certain people, I'm going to give you like a general vibe of the room with a mixed success. I think that you can see, because you know the royals right now. I think you can see that the king looks kind of his usual stealth, stiff upper jaw, upper lip, kind of, he looks personable, looks, kingly, looks, is keeping it all together. The queen, I think you can see, is kind of like, casting her eyes across to her daughter, to the princess every so often. And I think you can't quite tell why, but the princess looks very uncomfortable, I think you would note. And that's what I'll give you with that. And Mathilda is walking over to you.
Oh, goodness.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I think Mathilda really doesn't know how to talk to Faust, and whether it's sort of appropriate to like get down to his level or like bend over, and so she ends up sort of like kind of awkwardly doing something in the middle, like a weird like looming bow, and she says in a very crisp and clear English accent, she says, have you noticed anything unusual with your, it strikes me that you might be quite good at espionage given your condition. Yes.
Stella, you navigated that so smoothly. Give me a little boost so I can speak to you, because I have a very small voice. Would you hold out your hand for me, please? I know.
Okay. She sort of looks towards the king as if kind of like looking for his approval, and presumably he doesn't pay any attention to this. And then she kind of turns back, and she's trying really hard not to look like squeamish about it, but absolutely showing on her face that she's just like kind of not really sure how to act around you, not really comfortable. But she holds out her hand anyway for you to stand on, and then she brings you up to eye level.
Mathilda, if you're looking for anything from the king, I think the most you'll see is kind of him glancing over across the ballroom. Maybe his eyes land on you for a second, but that's about it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I bring you up to eye level.
Brilliant. Sigh. Like... have you not noticed her young majesty?
But what about her?
She looks a little uncomfortable this evening, don't you think?
I suppose so. It hadn't really occurred to me. Does she not like royal occasions? Is that normal for her?
I mean, personally, I'd expect a princess to be having a nicer time than this.
Okay, interesting.
I think it's at that point that Eleri, you either overhear the conversation or you can tell us where you are in the ballroom.
Yeah, so I think Eleri would definitely have just been standing near the food or drink, trying to make the most awkward small talk with anyone and everyone that got a bit too close. Like, she's almost bodyguarding the punch bowl, for example, trying to get someone to engage in conversation, and it's just not happening.
I think that most people are indeed put off by, well, how do you look? What is the visual here?
So, Eleri is about, I'd say, like 5'3" She's a little bit on the shorter side. She is in complete black. Her hair is very dark black. She is in the equivalent of like scholar robes, pitch black. And yeah, just quite forward with her stature. Personal boundary necessarily isn't read the best.
Yeah, for sure.
But she's happy to be here, even if she's a bit confused why people don't want to necessarily have in-depth conversations about the number 7. But you know, whatever.
I got it in.
It's a good number.
It's a good number.
Great number.
I think that the people do tend to avoid you, except for one person, a knight who you have met very briefly, called Sibran. Who is towering and broad, clad in silver armor most of the time, but he's kind of like dressed up or down, whatever you might say for this occasion. He's got a deep scarring down his cheek, and he's he kind of sidles over to you. He's like, hello. Was it Eleri?
Eleri, yes, it's Eleri. Hi, I can't believe you remembered. Hi, how's it going? You having a nice time?
Yes, it's going good. I heard that you were working alongside the princess as of late. Is that correct?
Oh, yes. Very exciting. Can't wait. So nice to be involved. It's going to be great. Me and I don't know where they've gone, but there are others, and it's going to be a great time. We're going to be so useful. It's going to be wonderful. I'm very excited.
Great. You can obviously see that he's like, do I jump in? No, here. What? He nods and he's like, yes. Just quickly. I just wondered if because you're, fairly close with the princess now. I wondered if you knew how she was doing. As her betrothed, I obviously know how she's doing, but I thought I would see if you had any insights.
Did I know they were betrothed?
How much attention do you pay to like royal goings on, do you think?
Like negative on gossip.
Cool. You had no idea.
I do not read social cues at all.
Sick. Yeah, you had no idea. You thought this guy was just like a guard or something. But no, he is in fact betrothed to Iwan, the princess. Yeah, you can take that information.
Oh my god, congratulations! That's so exciting. Oh, I'm so happy for you. Yeah, she looks like she's having a great time.
He looks over and you can see that like she's starting to like bend like some kind of like eating utensil in her hand ever so slightly, and then like her mother like leans over and like is like trying to like keep her at bay. And both you and Sibran look over at this and then look back at each other. Sure, absolutely. Well, if you hear anything maybe from your friends over there, let me know. I will be around.
Yes, no, definitely. We should totally have conversation again after this, because that's what people who are friends do. It's going to be great.
Friends? Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Acquaintances. But
sure. Less pressure. Well, great.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, misread that.
That's fine. That is fine.
I will. Yes.
He bows deeply and then backs away. Just fully like out.
Yeah. Larry kind of like shakes it off and then is instantly like, yeah, that tracks. And I'll wander over to the other two to tell them about my new friend.
Wonderful. Eleri is approaching you.
Did you know that the princess has got a fiance?
Oh, no. Congratulations are in order. Oh, how did you know?
Have you not been paying attention to anything?
Well, I think I have. I guess I haven't been studying the minutiae of the situation.
Maybe you're not up to speed on the nuances of the Welsh court. Although you, Eleri, I'm not entirely sure how you managed to miss it.
I knew that he was about. I didn't realise that. Like, you'd think they'd be louder with their, I don't know, betrothal or. Yeah, I don't know. They aren't standing together. He was asking how she was. Like, you'd think if they were betrothed, he would know.
I think all of you will, thinking back, as you've worked with the princess for like a little bit, trying to figure out what's going on with her. She has not, for a single second of the day you've been spending with her, said anything about this man.
Tracks.
Yeah.
You know.
God save.
Look. But yeah, I think you're all just keeping an eye on things. I think eventually you'll probably want to go check in on the princess, but there's still time to go about the ball if you wish.
Wonderful. I think Faust in his head is trying to make a game plan to think of a quick exit that they can design.
When you say quick exit, what do you mean?
For the princess. If she looks like if she's wavering and looks like she's thinking about keeling over, I think he's probably thinking we should attempt to get her out of here in case she like sets things on fire.
Are you going to communicate that with any of us? Or are you just going to keep it in your little weasel brain? Stoke brain. Sorry.
How dare you?
Oh.
Don't call him a weasel.
Oh.
He's bigger than that. He's 5 centimeters longer than that.
Unbelievable.
And he's got a black tip on his tail.
Crucially.
Yeah, crucially. That's how you know.
Yeah, that's Stoke right there. That's what people say as they go past. Stoke.
I think he's probably trying to think of a way to communicate to them what his plan is, but he's resolved that it will be best to leave it until he's thought of something before he says anything, so he can get it out efficiently.
I think Mathilda, because as Faust correctly said, doesn't really understand what is going on in the Welsh court, is going to sort of just turn to Eleri as the allegedly more normal person out of the two, to be like, what do we do now? Do you think we should go and say congratulations to the princess? Do you think was it rude that we haven't said something earlier?
I honestly really struggle to know these things. We could definitely go say hi. I'm sure there's a lucky number for betrothals somewhere. That would be nice. Let's see if she wants.
Okay.
Faust?
I think that going over to the princess right now would be a great idea. Heaven help us that the Stoat is the most normal person here.
I wouldn't say normal, but definitely the most socially mobile.
Yeah. Oh yes, no, the Stoat has been in high society for eons.
Very long time.
Yes. All right, so you're heading up to go talk to the princess. Are you going to just go directly to her, or are you going to go to the queen or the king first?
I think I would go to the king and do a very, very big and dramatic sort of dramatic bow. I think I should probably say I have a massive sword strapped to my back that is absolutely way too large for me, like comically big. Definitely cannot wield it like competently. But yeah, she's going to bow really dramatically and be like, "Your Highness, may I perchance take a moment or may we take a moment to speak to the princess?"
I think the king is kind of looking about his court and then like notices you're there belatedly. Kind of maybe like there's like a glint that like catches on your sword, and he's like,
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful to see you here tonight. He glances over at the queen, and she like leans in and whispers something in his ear. It's like, oh, yes, the ones who are helping, dear sweet Eira. Yes, please, go ahead, but don't keep our princess away for too long.
Oh, of course, my lord. Of course.
He like has a keen eye on you now. He's watching everything you do.
Okay.
And I think without hesitation and almost with like you could hear her heavy chair go as she like stands. I don't know if that came through the mic. Probably not. It was squeaked.
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Her heavy chair like moves back with like a lurch, and she leads you three away. Like she's tall, poised, and she kind of like strides off to the side with purpose to kind of go in like an alcove with you. Do you follow?
Okay. Yeah, as we do, I'm going to turn back and just like wave furiously at the royal king, and definitely what is not appropriate behavior, but
I think
what I think is friendly. It's a well-intentioned wave.
Yeah, I think the king is not looking at you at all. It's looking straight forward over the court. You can see the queen kind of go. Kind of go like, what are you doing?
Very happy that I got receptive.
Nice. The queen kind of goes to herself like, why did you do that? Yeah, you and Iwen are in an alcove. It's kind of like there are like sconces with like a little bit of fire flickering. And I think as she like turns to face you all, you can see like the flame in the sconce kind of go do a little bit of a flicker. Hello. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, fine. Yes, good. I think we're all good. I just wanted to convey our congratulations. Me and Eleri hadn't realised that you were engaged, and I thought it was terribly rude that we haven't said anything to you, and you must think that we're being really impolite. So I just thought that yes.
As you say the engagement thing, the flame goes and her eyes kind of glint gold like swing, and she's like, but she's still silent, listening to you. Mm-hmm. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yes, joyous occasion, joyous. Are you noticing anything? Am I doing anything wrong, or if you just stopped by to say hi, or did you see, I don't know, any of my symptoms manifesting, or?
My dear princess, the question is not whether we are having a nice time or whether you have done anything wrong. You simply looked discomforted. And so I have come to express my concern.
Express your concern, you say. Let's have you make a roll, I think. He is. Let's see. I'm gonna say emotional support. Yeah. So when you offer someone support in a way that could be meaningful for them, roll heart or plus spirit. And I don't think you have a string on her, but
no, I don't think I do, and I have no heart or no spirit, so with no modifiers, we'll wing it.
Yeah, give it a go.
Okay, 7. It could have been worse.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 7 is a mixed success. So it says if they open up to you, they choose one. They can clear a condition, they can mark XP. That's not what she's going to be doing. She can get forward, or you can gain insight from me about the obstacle facing one of you. And I think the insight is going to be what we go with. I think that you can see that, especially mentioning the betrothal, the flame obviously went up, her eyes glinted, but you swear you can see the very edge of a scale on her high-necked dress, just kind of peeking out. And I would say that you can definitely figure out that mentioning this betrothal is stressing her out. And I think that she will kind of like go, yes, I am a little uncomfortable. I had no idea that Sir Bran was going to be here tonight. My mother didn't tell me, nor did my father. And I'm indeed a little bit uncomfortable, yes.
Oh. Could I... actually, what are the questions you can ask when you figure out a person?
When you figure out a person, you can ask, what are your feelings towards blank? What do you hope to get from blank? Yeah. How could I get you to blank? What do you love most? And how would you feel if I blank?
Okay. I don't know if I have any good questions. Let me think about that for a second, but
Sure.
You guys carry on.
Sure. Yeah, so you know that it is her engagement to Sir Bran that is making her feel anxious. She says, honestly, yeah, if I could just stay out of the limelight for tonight, that would be brilliant. But my father says that I have to make a good impression, and people have to believe that the royals are perfect in every way. So.
That makes sense, says Mathilda, who absolutely sees no problem with this situation.
Yeah, I think she kind of like looks at you.
Feelings cool.
And it, like, I think honestly, that's gonna make her snap. I think she's
very, very valid.
She's gonna kind of like lean forward and just be like, "Do you think this is fine, Mathilda? Do you think this is, you know, what people would come to expect? You know, the princess with the red dragon's blessing, trying to, you know, keep everything around her did fine and good, and then trying to appease her parents while also trying to being forced into an arranged marriage. And she keeps going and going, and like the flame behind her is kind of, and I think you can kind of feel like warmth that you didn't feel before emanating from it.
I'm sorry if I offended, Princess. Sorry. I guess, well, where I'm from, there's certain expectations around our leaders, the people in charge, and, well, I guess it seems to be the same with you, and that's not a bad thing, maybe? I don't know.
I think as well, Mathilda, I think you feel almost kind of like a subtle vibration coming from your sword.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
I know. And I think you get the vibe that it's kind of like, yes, urging you forward, like keep going, calm her. Yes.
Okay. Can I use one of my playbook moves?
Absolutely. What would you like to use?
Can I use people are people? When you talk about your home, you roll plus heart, and I can pick a thing to sort of help the situation.
Absolutely. Yes, please do. So
I don't have a very good heart, so let's hope that I don't roll terribly.
Fingers crossed. You can do that's fun for me.
Ooh, that's a 3.
What the fuck?
Okay. So that's no good thing.
Okay. Okay, so that's just a full fail.
Yeah.
Apologies. So I don't think there's going to be like particularly anything bad that happens. It would have been better if you got it because it would have helped. But I think she kind of, I don't think you get any mechanical benefit, but she just kind of like listens and is like, where are you from again? What?
Oh, just the east.
She kind of like frowns for a second and then she goes, "Oh, right. Yes, that is a thing you told us. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I didn't. I want to be transparent with you about it. I just don't want to talk about it too much. that's okay. But sometimes I think it can be useful because I have an outside perspective, and you know, I personally find that when I'm in times of trouble, one of the best things that you can do is imagine that your feelings are like a scarf or an item, and then you put those feelings in a box, and then you dig up a hole, and then you bury the box, and then you fill up the hole with soil, and then you pat it down, and then the problem's gone, feeling's gone. So it's just a little tidbit from me from the east.
From the east. I think
she's being so helpful.
There's like a long pause, and I think then the princess looks at the both of you and is like, she's talking about burying her feelings, isn't she? Just completely burying them? Is that what she's saying?
Oh, is that what? Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
I tried that with my brother.
You buried your brother?
Oh no, he lives in a hole.
Okay.
He's a stoat too.
Right, of course. So, that's fine. I think she'll kind of glance over your shoulders and see like the queen kind of beckoning her back. And we'll say, if you see anything going amiss, please do let me know. Especially, I have a bad feeling when I'm made to dance with Sabran, that I may feel a bit out of control. So, we'll see. And then she will straighten out her dress, and you can see that she looks like resigned to her fate almost. And she, she'll stride back towards the queen.
Out of character, I'm really sad that we suck at this.
Look, there's a lot going on, okay? There's a lot of politics going on. It's not your fault, okay? You're here to figure out what's going on with her.
In character, I'm going to say, I think that went really well.
Oh, good. Fantastic.
Yes. And so you're saying you take a scarf and you bury it, and then your feelings get better? Yes?
Metaphorically, yes.
Is the box metaphorical or is the scarf metaphorical?
They're both metaphorical. They're both.
And how does that help with feelings?
Well, because you don't have to think about them anymore. Because they're not there. They're somewhere else.
But wouldn't you be worried about the box? And what if you need that scarf? Like, I only have one scarf.
Perhaps the metaphors don't quite translate in Wales. Maybe I should reflect on that. In the West. Maybe I should reflect on that.
Okay, when we'll workshop.
Is there anything you wish to do? Do you wish to go and to talk to more people around the ball? Or do you want me to move ahead slightly?
I think leaving the alcove is a good idea.
Yeah.
Let me leave the alcove.
Yeah.
Before I get therapy from Mathilda.
Yeah, not good. Definitely not good. Who else is at the ball that any of us might have any kind of connections to or might find useful to talk to?
Yes, you will find Caris, who has been kind of working with you behind the scenes. She is one of the people who speaks regularly with the king and queen and has been trying to kind of like go figure out what's going on with the princess as much as you guys have. So she's kind of tall and like quite waifish, and she is similarly to you, Mathilda, kind of like lingering by the edge and keeping an eye on things, like closer to like the queen and the king, keeping an eye on things. If you wish to talk to her.
Am I still carrying Faust?
Oh no, he's scurried off onto his little self.
Good. Okay, good.
Nice.
I'll come over and talk to Caris.
Okay.
If anyone else wants to join me, feel free.
Yeah, I probably won't notice you immediately wandering away and then kind of like scurry after you. It's like, oh no, friend.
Can I have caught your attention by like grabbing the corner of your skirt to get to
Yes.
make you notice.
Yes. I've definitely been like
Excellent.
staring off into the distance, like scarves.
I love them. Fabulous. You head up to Karis, and they're just kind of they see you coming, and they're like, "Oh, hello. How are you all doing tonight?"
Good. Yes, great, fantastic. Having a lovely time.
Any progress with the princess, or?
Well, I think I have given her some useful advice in general, but she did express potential discomfort or well, a potential for things to go and get messy in the sort of dragony, dragony.
And she like immediately reaches forward and like it goes to put a hand over your mouth, and then it's like, that's rude, and then like pulls back, and it's like
yeah, if you do that, then Mathilda sort of like goes back to her sword and then
whoa,
kind of thinks better of it and puts her hand back down.
So both of you go to do something, realize that's not correct, and then pull back.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, she'll kind of go, oh, that was, let's not do that. Okay. So don't mention the D word. Just kind of,
Sure.
just right now. If you want to say like the red dragon's blessing, all of that.
Okay.
But not just general dragon. Because it gives the queen hives. So yes. Dragony, you think that she's going to get Dragony?
Well, she suggested it might happen during the dance, the dancing with
Sabran?
With Sabran, yes.
Okay, I go. That's interesting. Shame. He's a strapping young lad. I don't know why. Anyway, all right. I will let the queen know. In the meantime, just kind of keep yourself out of trouble.
Yes, we can do that. That's fine. Yes.
Good. Do you either of you, Faust and Eleri, want to say anything to her before she goes?
I know these things. I don't fully this is my first ball. How does she have to dance? Can we just avoid this by like, I don't know, not having that bit?
That would be the simplest solution, sure. However, the king and queen are very keen to show her and Sabran off.
Can't they just have like a nice, I don't know, intellectual debate or something instead? It seems like the dancing might be the issue. Maybe she
Sure.
has bad hand-eye coordination or something. I don't
Absolutely.
really know.
Well, it's kind of a more romantic idea than an in-depth
What's
debate.
more romantic than a debate?
Anything else.
Right. I'll keep that in mind.
Good to know. So she kind of like frowns for a second, and then they look at you again, Eleri, like, when I've been challenging your opinions, you don't think I'm flirting with you, do you?
Do you want me to think you're flirting with
I mean,
me?
I'm going to go talk to the queen. Good. Okay.
Okay,
Bye. Bye.
She wasn't flirting, was she?
I couldn't possibly say.
It's not a no.
Yeah, and I think you can see Karis go up to the queen and kind of like whisper in her ear, and she kind of nods slowly. But later, as far as you can tell, going further on to the ball, the plans don't seem to have changed. There's still going to be a dance between Sabran and the princess. Is there anything you want to try and do before that happens?
I might use one of my playbook moves.
Ooh, okay.
Always theorizing.
Mm-hmm.
So I can try to figure out the princess.
Okay. Wonderful. Always theorizing. So it says you have constantly updating. You have a constantly updating map in your mind about the mystery you are hunting. When you roll to figure out a person, roll plus wit for an additional +1 for each string you have on them. On the princess, I don't think you have any strings on her.
No.
Do you? Okay. You may still choose to spend one string for +3 instead of if you wish. So you get to figure out a person with your wit and then have an additional +1. You don't have any strings, so yes, you just get to roll plus wit.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Shall I do that?
Wonderful. So yes, 2d6s.
6 plus 2 is 8. Okay.
Okay, cool. So that's not a failure. Okay. For a mixed success on figuring somebody out, you can ask 2 questions of the princess, but then she can ask one of you. That would be me asking one of you. So you've got the following questions to ask if you want to. What are your feelings towards blank? What do you hope to get from blank? How can I get you to blank? What do you love most? And how would you feel if I blank?
I'm going to ask how she feels towards Bran.
Okay. Okay. How she feels towards Bran, you can see there is a definite discomfort, as you've seen before, but there's also a kind of resignation there, a kind of and a feeling that she knows he would be a good husband, but it's not what she wants.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else you would like to ask?
What were the other ones again? I've completely forgotten.
What do you hope to get from blank? How could I get you to blank? What do you love most? And how would you feel if I blank?
How would you feel if I sat on your shoulder while you did your little dance?
I think she would feel comforted. I think she would feel like there's a kind of buffer there. Yeah, I think that, she wouldn't say no, but I'll give you for free that the king and queen probably would not like that.
Okay. Because I think he feels a lot of empathy for her in this situation, understanding that this is something she feels obliged to do. He knows a lot about propriety and having to keep up a mask. It's quite difficult to navigate yourself in a courtly situation when you're a stoat. So he understands what it's like when people have expectations of you that you may not be able to meet.
Can I, building off of that then, because I get to ask you a question,
Okay.
Tell us more about that mask that you put on.
He keeps people at a distance because he's quite vulnerable, both physically and emotionally. He didn't intend to be a stoat, and this is quite a difficult period of his life whilst he's being a stoat. It's been quite difficult to work out how to find a solution for it and who to trust to ask for help when you can just get squished. It's quite difficult, and it's really hard to make people take you seriously, so he's a bit more standoffish and a bit more suspicious of people than he used to be.
Absolutely. I'm gonna say you go ahead and take a string on the princess.
Okay.
Because I feel like you understand her much more now. Yeah, so the option to jump up on her shoulder to help is there. You think it will probably help her keep a lid on things, but the king and queen won't be happy. So it's weighing those options up, basically.
Okay. I think he's going to do it anyway because he's already a stoat.
Yep.
Socially, it can't get much worse for him.
I don't know. I mean, look, there's some awful stoats out there. I'm kidding. So I think if we're happy, I'll head to the point where the dance is about to happen. So you and the rest of the royal court are kind of gathered around in like a kind of huge circle on the outskirts of the hall. And I think that's when someone announces, and now a dance between the princess, Arwen, Perk Arianwen, and Sir Bran, her betrothed. And I think that's when he steps forward, shoulders square and back and chin high, and holds a hand out for the princess. And she very slowly walks forward. I think you can see her throw a glance over her shoulder at her mother, who kind of gives her a slow nod. And you can hear like the clicking of her heels as she heads towards Sir Bran. Is that when you run up, Faust?
Yes, I think so. And then sort of get her attention by pulling on her skirt.
Okay. Can you please give me another roll? And that's going to be an emotional support roll, please.
Oh, okay.
So, 2d6 plus either heart or spirit.
That's 9 because I have no modifiers on those.
Okay, cool. All right, with a 7 to a 9, a mixed success. If they open up to you, they choose 1. So I'm going to say that she will open up to you. She'll kind of look down at you and kind of nod, and you can like scamper up her dress to her shoulder. Yeah, and I think what you get from that is that she, definitely needs the support. I think she's willing to do anything at this point to keep things in check.
Okay.
And I think Sibran kind of looks down at you like, a stoat?
I would take my little. He wears a little Robin Hood hat with a tiny down feather put in it. So I'm going to take his hat off and bow
stoat with a
deeply
hat?
to the prince. I'm a learned scholar, my liege, and I'm here to provide the princess with reminders on the steps to the dance. And then I'm going to scurry up her dress without leaving him time to respond.
I see. He looks awfully confused. But yeah, she is able to kind of like, bite the bullet and take his hand, and places a hand on his shoulder, and they kind of start doing a classic waltz. Although I do think, Faust, you can definitely feel a kind of discomfort rolling off of her for sure. Yes, is there anything else you would like to do as you see them dance? Seems to be going well so far. Maybe like a steadily burning and like a warmth that you felt earlier is still kind of like, it's still really quite hot in here. It's not terrible right now. It's quite warm. If there's anything you would like to do at all.
I think for as long as the dance is going okay, Mathilda's not going to get involved or anything, but she's watching very closely.
Okay, cool. Eleri?
I think every time either of the three, or all of the three in the dancing make eye contact, I'm like, thumbs up in the corner, like not subtle at all, just being like, yeah, you got this. Thinking that I'm helping.
Okay. I think at that point then, that's when everyone else in the room starts to dance. So people kind of like start moving in, and you can't see them clearly anymore, but they're still like in the middle of the fray while like dancing. Would any of you like to dance with anyone?
I think as soon as it becomes clear that I'm not going to have a clear line of vision, Mathilda's going to start strategically dancing, like is just going to pick a person and are there specific gender connotations around who leads the dance in this contect?
Not in this world.
Fantastic. In that case, she's going to lead, even though she doesn't really know the steps. And is okay. Actually, yeah. Can I? I feel like it might be a waste of a figure out a person role, but it might be helpful.
You can do it as much as you want.
Can you do my playbook move, Silly Tourist?
Oh, sure. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, when you figure out a person or defy disaster by playing the fool, you may additionally ask a question from this list, even on a 6 or less.
Okay.
And my logic with this is, whilst Mathilda is like dancing to try and get like a good line of sight, she also very much relates to this, but her approach to it is very different to Faust. But she's thinking that a way that could alleviate the princess's struggle without being improper is by drawing attention to herself, like tripping over or just making a bit of a fool of herself as someone who doesn't know the moves properly.
Okay, I'm going to give you an option here. You can either use this to figure out a person, or there will definitely be a defy disaster roll coming up if you want to save it for that.
I'll save it for that.
Cool.
Okay.
I'll give you that insight.
Thank you.
But of course. But I will say that yeah, you definitely find somebody to dance with. I'm gonna roll for this person. It is a femme presenting person who kind of is was dancing with somebody else when you kind of like cut in, like, may I? Very
Oh,
not
God.
suave, but like awkwardly, like
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
if you think that's right, Ellie.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely correct.
Perfect. And
Just
then
so painful.
she kind of goes, oh, okay, oh, and then like turns around and it's like, oh, hello, hi, I'm Martha.
Mathilda, delighted to meet you.
Oh, 2 M's.
Yeah, are these dances? Forgive me, I'm new here. Are you supposed to talk during these dances, or is it more of a silent thing?
I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of weird to just be silent. We'll just stare at each other.
Okay, good to
Like,
know.
I don't
Yes,
you,
well,
but-
we can make small talk then. That's fine.
Absolutely. Where are you from?
The East.
So, like Newport way, or
Sort of more towards Glastonbury.
oh, wonderful, wonderful. She frowns a little bit, but then continues dancing with you. Do you get closer and closer then?
Yeah, if I can, yeah.
Wonderful. I think as you get closer, you can definitely see she's looking more and more uncomfortable. I think you can see that, you know, her eyes are glinting a little bit more. Maybe there's like a bead of sweat on her brow. Eleri, is there anything you would like to do?
I think as soon as the dancing is kicking off, I'm just going to dance by myself.
Nice.
Oh,
Pretending as
Witch.
though I have a partner,
Mhm.
like hands out and everything, and just, yeah, having a great time. I've completely checked out of what is going on in the rest of the room. Yeah, Faust seems to have it covered. Matilda's off on an adventure, so like I'll stick to the edges and just have a nice time. Like everyone's distracted, so I can just enjoy myself.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at.
I think at that point as well, you kind of hear a little kind of like like little noises kind of, you know, either side of you, and you know that nobody else can see them, but you can see them. The unseen are there with you, almost kind of accompanying you in the dance. And they're kind of saying like, Eleri, hi, are you dancing? This is lovely.
Yeah. Do you want to join in? Should we have a dance together?
Absolutely. Do you want us to lead or you? We can kind of climb up on
you
each
can-
other's shoulders. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
So
great.
good. So
Great.
good. Let's do that.
Okay. And you see them kind of go blub, 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 as they like kind of start climbing on top of each other. They kind of like little willow the wisps, I'm imagining. Like kind of like, but like really dark versions of them, maybe like with a speck of like electric blue. And they kind of like yeah, stand up to your height and they kind of go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you're dancing with them. Yeah. Is there anything you want to ask of them? Or while you're dancing?
That is a good question.
You can have a little think if you would like.
Yeah, I think I might have a little think.
Nice. And Faust. In fact, I think we're going to, because I think it's very clear now that the princess, even though you've kind of like delayed the inevitable, Faust, with your reassurance, I think she's starting to really lose control a bit. I think you can see like a bit of the scale, Mathilda, like cropping up next to her neck. I think you can see that Sir Bran is kind of like, you know, eyeing it a little bit. And she kind of like, straightens her hair out a little bit to kind of cover it. But it's definitely hotter in here. You're kind of actually, now that you think about it, you're boiling. So I would like for us to do a defy disaster roll. So when you push your limits to achieve something extraordinary that's not covered by another move, or to avert an imminent danger to yourself or someone else, say what you're willing to sacrifice and pick your approach. So you can use any of your stats that you would like, and I would say it's up to you who makes the roll. What do you want to do?
My instinct is to try and get some kind of distraction so we can disrupt what's going on and give the princess an out.
Yeah.
I don't know where strategically the best move is for that.
I was thinking, like, yeah, if I cause a little bit of chaos on the dance floor and maybe try and knock over as many people as possible with a poorly calculated dance move, that might be worth doing. I've also, I would love your guys' input on this, because if I do the silly tourist thing, I can ask one of 3 questions, which is, what would make you laugh? What hidden threat or opportunity am I missing, or how are you vulnerable? And I think getting extra information is really helpful. But if anyone has any sort of ideas or preferences of what question might be worth asking.
I don't know.
I feel like we're missing something with the princess.
Yeah.
So knowing what we can do to help her in this situation is a good one. And arguably all 3 of those questions kind of touch on it. So I think your vibe based, I'm happy to trust.
Okay. Are you guys happy for me to take the role then?
The sword is asking to be swung around foolishly on a dance floor. I think
that's
a weird thing to say. Sorry, but like,
no, I think that's probably the vibe, and I mean, Liv, I don't know if this is enough of a thing for me to sacrifice, but I think just my dignity and sense of like decorum, and any sort of social standing I had.
Standing with the roll call, absolutely everything.
It's gonna go out the window a little bit.
Perfect. Okay. I think you do this in response to, because you're quite close to them at this point.
Yeah.
And I think you can see Sir Bran kind of dip his head and say to her quietly, I will be a good husband to you, Iowyn. And that's when he snaps.
Do I have to? What do I have to roll for this?
So Defy Disaster is plus whichever stat you think makes sense.
Okay.
So you can tell me how you're doing a thing and what you'll use for it. So what stat you'll use.
I think my instinct is spirit, not just because it's my best stat, but because it's integrity, right? And I think this is a moment of her kind of straying a little bit from her tradition of stiff upper lip, but also one of her kind of 6 commandments that she has to follow is like never let a weaker person fight their own battles. And this to me feels a little bit like, okay, I think I can take one for the team, for the princess, in a way that she can't at the moment.
Perfect.
Cool.
So if you roll 2d6 with spirit.
Oh my goodness, you will not believe this. I just rolled a 12. plus 2 is 14.
Yes! Oh my god. Perfect.
So I think,
very nice.
Can I do a little bit of narrating of what
yes, please.
So I think as I see this in the corner of my eye, I'm going to turn towards Martha and like do like a sort of like, as we're doing this dance, I'm going to sort of like pull her in a little bit closer and whisper in her ear in a kind of like romantic way, but be like, I am dreadfully sorry. And then I'm gonna like do a like huge like dip, but it's gonna probably like go too far, knock into at least 2 people. I think the sword is gonna go flying off my back because I like overextend the angle. So I'm aiming to like knock at least 5 people down, bowling ball style.
Amazing. You get a strike. You dip Martha and she kind of goes, has a little giggle. And she says, oh, Mathilda, you're so roguish. And then
Mathilda looks deeply uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's fair. Martha's a little weird. You knock her into the back of somebody who knocks into the back of somebody else, who knocks into the back of somebody else. And I think the disaster that you avoid specifically is that Sir Bran gets knocked over and away from the princess.
Nice.
If it weren't for that, I think just as he's knocked out of the way, there's like a kind of whoosh of flame that kind of erupts out from her hands.
Oof.
And he would have been in the line of fire, literally, if you had not done that. And also, yeah, you've done this with complete style. It says you can also learn some new information, discover an opportunity, or gain a string on somebody. Do any of those speak to you?
Learn some new information, gain an opportunity,
Or gain a string?
gain a string. I'm tempted to gain a string on the princess because I feel like thus far track record's not been great.
Might come in handy.
Might come in handy.
Nice. All right, cool. You earn a string on the princess. Wonderful. Who kind of looks to see, who made this happen, and looks over at you acting goofy as hell, and it's just kind of like gives you like a wry like little grin. But as she kind of like looks down at her hands again, you can see she starts panicking. You can see that there's some scales spreading along her arms.
Okay.
You can kind of feel like things are getting way, way hotter than they were before. And I think, Mathilda, you don't know what makes your eyes draw to it, but you look at a goblet on the table near you that's kind of rippling a little, and you see a woman in the goblet who kind of whispers almost directly into your head, "Take the princess and run."
Ooh, okay.
And I think that's when the crowd as well, you all notice this now, the crowd is just like, oh, like this hubbub as they kind of like see that the princess is kind of like trying to cover herself, that the room is swelling with heat. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna just take her hand and run then, I think, just towards the nearest exit. In just like acting on pure instinct and then being like kind of like, wait, what am I doing?
Martha, as you leave, reaches out and it's like, "Write to me." The princess is like grateful to have somebody as like an anchor, as a lifeline, and will just run with you. Well, what are the rest of you doing? Eleri and Faust, what are you doing?
Clinging desperately to the collar of her dress.
Absolutely.
Oh dear.
I didn't forget you were there. What are you talking? Wonderful. You hang on to her petticoat tails. Eleri.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say goodbye to my little friends, my little guys, and chase after them because I can't read social cues, but I think I picked this one up.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Fabulous. You, all four of you, run out into the night.
Oh,
and
Liv.
Yes.
Sorry, I've just realised I forgot. Could I ask one of my
Yes.
questions?
I think that's a great place to leave off. Yes.
I think I was going to ask what would make you laugh, but I don't know if that's quite the right energy right now. So I feel like we already know how she's vulnerable, so maybe what hidden threat or opportunity am I missing?
Nice, really good question. Okay. What hidden threat or opportunity are you missing? I think as you're running away, the princess will whisper to you, Mathilda, "Dinis Emrys. I have to go there. Dinis Emrys." And she's feeling a huge pull to that particular place.
Okay, cool.
And with that, I think we will take our 10-minute break if everyone's fine with that. Everyone's happy?
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, well, see you in around about 10 then. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Welcome back, everyone. I wasn't sure if I was right. Welcome to the Red Dragon's Blessing with Science and Sorcery, associated with Pride in STEM. We are currently running in the moors of the Welsh Highland, sure. Having just run from the ball that was being held at Harlech Castle. You've got your three heroes here, Eleri, Faust, and Mathilda, who are accompanying the princess as she runs away from the court, having unleashed a little bit of her draconic power. You, Mathilda, were running alongside her when she whispered to you, Dinas Emrys, I have to go to Dinas Emrys. You are still running. Is there anything you'd like to do?
I think when it sort of like occurs to me and I get my senses back, I'm gonna let go of her hand and be like, I'm so sorry, princess, that was so impolite and improper of me. Did Emrys? Where
I'm
is that?
full of scales, don't worry, it's fine. Yeah, Dinas Emrys, I don't know. I've heard of it before. I just kind of know it's somewhere. I feel like there's a pull. I just know that's where I need to go.
I'm gonna turn to the other two as locals and be like, leads the way to Dinas Emrys, I guess.
For context, Dinas Emrys is just above Harlech, at the north of Wales. So, yeah. It's very, very much like fields and woodlands out here, you know, maybe a few like little bits of like mountain range and stuff you might want to avoid or go up if you prefer. But I think you get the impression that it's not going to be long until people come after you, you know. And I think you can all see that the princess is kind of she's looking, her eyes are huge, she's kind of like staring ahead like, oh my god, what have I done? What have I just done? Oh my god, are they gonna know? Are they gonna know? My mom's gonna be so disappointed and so done. Oh my god, you know.
I'm gonna go over to the princess and gently sort of like not touch her, but just put my hands like, are you okay? Do you have a scarf?
No.
I've been told that they help.
I see. I don't have a scarf on me. I'm just in this formal wear. Do you have a scarf on you?
I'm gonna take my like belt sash off and then kind of like give that to her and be like, I hope this helps.
Can you roll me emotional support, please?
I can.
Thank you.
What does that roll with?
That is 2d6, and emotional support is plus heart or spirit.
Oh. See, I feel like it's plus heart, but that's -1. So let's see what happens.
Whatever you want to do.
Sorry. So that's a 5.
Brilliant. Yeah, I think this could have worked out nicely. However, what the scarf-esque thing that you're putting onto her reminds her of is the fact that Mathilda was like, bury your feelings. So she kind of like watches you put it on and is kind of like, thank you. Are you going to tell me to just kind of like just imagine myself better and then I'll get better? Because I don't think that's how it works. And
I don't know how the scarf works. I've just been told that it works.
Was that the same conversation with Mathilda that I was in?
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay. Yes. Okay. I wish I had brought some other shoes, but let's just kind of head out then. And she'll kind of like hike up her skirt, her many skirts underneath her dress, and kind of start stomping through. And I think you can see there's a kind of like a determination to her. I think maybe it's almost like she's barely stepping in like the mud. Like there's a kind of like almost like a floating quality to her. Couldn't say why.
Cool.
I think it's at this moment you hear behind you, stop! All of you! Bring the princess back right now. And it's Sir Bran, who stood with sword drawn, hurrying after you. My lady, please come with me. And the princess kind of looks back at him, his glaring daggers. What would you like to do?
Nah.
Huh?
I don't know. I'm not letting her go with him. No
Mm.
way. I'm immediately suspicious of this man following us and demanding her return. What's his expression like? Like his facial expression?
Do you want to try to figure him out?
Yes, I will try to figure him out.
Wonderful. With wit.
Yes. Okay, so... 10. Which
Nice.
is right.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can ask 2 questions now or later in the scene. The questions are, I don't know if you've got them on you, but if not, what are your feelings towards blank? What do you hope to get from blank? How could I get you to blank? What do you love the most? And how would you feel if I blank?
I'm going to immediately ask him what he hopes to get from the princess returning.
Okay. What he hopes to get from the princess returning. I think you know from this that there is genuine affection there for the princess. And you can tell it's kind of intermingled with duty, but there is genuine affection there. And he also wants to get her back specifically to the king and queen, because it would, work out in his favor as well.
Okay.
And you can ask another question if you would like.
I'm going to save my other one, I think.
Okay, sure. I think Sabran kind of, holding out his sword, 2-handed, and it's kind of like, you have abducted a member of the royal court. You must bring her back now.
I can assure you we're not abducting anybody. We're doing this on the authority of the king and queen. We're just ensuring the princess's well-being.
The king and queen sent me after you.
I see. That's well.
The princess puts a hand on your shoulder and it's like, that works. We are going out to figure out my condition. So Bran, I believe it's a good time for you to step away. She nods to you, Mathilda, carry on.
I'm trying to figure out if there's a way for me to cut in and ask. I can't work out if there's a way that I can make this question is he more loyal to the princess than the king and queen? But I can't make it fit with any of the others. Because he's always expressed, affection for her in some sense.
Yeah. So loyalty specifically.
Yeah.
I think that he thinks that the king and queen know what's best for her, and he would put what they say over what she says. But there is the affection for her that he holds. Yeah. Anyone else?
I think that. Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
I was going to go be awkward. I don't know if you want to jump in before that or
I'll jump in and just kind of galvanized by what the princess has kind of said. I'll just go. Yes, we understand that the king and queen have concerns, but sometimes it is important to listen to your intuition on something rather than preconceived ideas of what's important. Rest assured, we will get to the bottom of this, and at that point, we will we'll talk to the king and queen again at that point.
Okay. I'm wondering if they're Is there anything you can do here? Is there anything in your playbook you would like to do specifically, or
I
movie you'd like to
think
do?
I don't know if this like affects anything at the moment. But one of my commandments is specifically always obey the authority.
Okay.
And so I think that I am breaking that.
Mm.
Which I don't know what that does mechanically. I think it gives me a conviction.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if that does anything at this
Okay.
point. It just says, write a conviction expressing your new beliefs, something that
Okay.
contradicts the commandment. Each time you live up to a conviction, despite temptation or cost, reduce your tradition by 1 and ask an onlooker if they agree with that conviction. If they say yes, take a string on them and learn what holds them back from living up to it, if anything.
Okay. So this new conviction that you have, how does it differ from what you had before?
I think instead of always obey the authority, it's trust your own heart and intuition.
Nice. And is there anyone you want to particularly ask if they agree with that?
You know what? I might ask Sir Bran in a kind of to kind of get him off our case and get him on side.
Okay. So your conviction, remind me again.
Trust. What did I say? Trust your heart and intuition.
Trust your heart and intuition.
And yeah, I think to kind of like convince him or ask him in character, I would say something like, have you never had a moment where perhaps the answer to something wasn't the obvious one or the road that you'd been down before, but a new path, something different? Have you never experienced that?
Okay. So I can't decide if this is... Okay, I'm going to ask you to... Yeah, can I ask... can you please make an entice roll for me?
Sure.
It's appealing to his emotional sensibilities. So you roll plus heart.
Okay, which I'm not very good at. Ha! That's a 1.
How?
For what it's worth, it says here, ask them if they agree. If they say yes, take a string on them. If they say no, mark a condition. So
Brilliant. So with the entice roll as well, combined with everything else.
Yeah.
Sabran is a soldier. Sabran is a guard. Sabran doesn't deviate from the norm. He adheres to it and he fulfills his duties. And so he is going to say, not when your heart and intuition speaks against the king and the queen. Of course not. Have you no morals, no scruples? And I think the condition I'm going to ask you to take, Mathilda, is going to be the insecure condition. If you agree with that, because you just tried to like bear your new conviction to somebody and they have a position of authority over you possibly, and they shot you down.
And also like questioned my morals and scruples.
Yep.
Not my morals and scruples.
Oh my goodness, it's an emotional game. So keep that in mind going forward. But because you failed the roll, you get a +1 forward to your next roll. So if anyone's failed a roll, you get a +1 going forward.
Okay, cool.
And XP if you're playing a full game, but we're playing a one shot, so you know. I think in response to that, that's when Sabran is going to lunge forward, sword aloft.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would any of you like to do? Now, there are fight moves. There are other moves that you can do to try and quell him, like Defy Disaster, maybe. If you had a string on him, you could influence him. But yeah, what would you like to do?
Eleri, did you want to do something?
I was going to try and logic our way out, but I don't know if we're at that point. But if there is a thing that I can do to be like, we had a chat earlier, we were friendly earlier. I remember that, friend? Hello, friend.
Okay. Gotcha.
Try and sneak my way with sheer unquestionable logic.
Absolutely. Okay, just because he's taking a swing at you actively right now, I'll say that whatever you do can like add to like somebody's. It's not going to stop him from taking a swing, basically. And I think he's going for Mathilda because you were the one who stepped forward and said all the things. So, I'm going to ask you to do an entice as well, please, Eleri. So that is 2d6 plus your heart.
Yes. Can I? So I have talk nerdy to me, which makes me use wit instead of heart with entice.
Perfect.
So we're gonna hope that sheer logic of order of operations will help. So that is a 7 plus 2, so that's a 9.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah,
Still
we're gonna jump in with the. Well, okay, so you know how you asked how she was doing, and I said it was fine. Well, it turns out that she's not fine, and actually she's in quite a lot of distress, and our job is to help her distress, and the King and Queen specifically told us first to go and help with the distress. So technically the orders, whilst they were given, and yours was second, if we follow the chain of command, technically the look after her becomes before the you bringing her back. Now we will let you bring her back, but just maybe after we do the looking after, because that was the first order that the King and Queen gave, and so we really need to make sure we do that first. Please don't hit Mathilda.
I think, okay, so instead of you gaining a string on him, he's going to get flustered and awkward
Yes.
as he like listens to what you're saying, and it's just kind of you did have a conversation earlier, you know, like maybe he should listen to you, and it's like you're put in charge of helping her, so you know. I think he's gonna be like, what? And I think at that moment, I'm gonna roll something real quick. You're not supposed to do that in Pursuit Sword Lesbians, particularly as the game master, but yeah, okay. I think at this point, Iowan, the princess, sends a gust of flame his way, and it topples him over, and he falls back, and he's kind of clutching his stomach and screaming.
Oh dear.
And he's like rolling around trying to put this out, yelling, thrashing, and all three of you look back to the princess, and she kind of like is looking down at herself like, oh god, no, it's worse, it's getting worse. I didn't even mean to do that. I don't think I did. And she's panicking.
Okay, I don't think the scarf is working. Shall we get you to where you need to go?
Yes, please take me away, please.
Okay.
Please.
And I'm gonna like try and encourage her to like just turn around and be like, "Is he okay? Shall we?"
I'm gonna.
He's not okay.
I'm gonna, because earlier she said quietly in her first little outburst when we first came out, she said that she could feel like a pull towards where she needed to go. So Faust is gonna, still sat on her shoulder, it's been quite a journey. It's like, it says to her very quietly, like, if you feel it calling in you, that's the way that we should go. Sometimes you have to trust the instincts.
You're right, Faust, you're right. Let's away. And she'll start to run again with the three of you. Unless
Zelda puts away her sword sadly.
Oh,
like, oh, we're ready for a fight every day.
Yeah. She was like, "You challenged my integrity and my scruples."
the sword itself is thirsty for blood.
Yeah.
It all makes sense now. I think as you're running away, you hear Sir Bran kind of calling out, and he's like in terrible pain. And he'll say, "If you run from this, you'll be proving them right, proving that you're dangerous."
Ooh.
Listen, sometimes people think bad things about you, and it happens. They don't mean it. It's fine. Let's.
You head on out. Wonderful. Now that you're not too far away from the castle still, is there anything you want to do, anything you want to grab before you go, or are you just heading straight into the forest?
I'll just be following the princess, so heading straight there pretty much, but obviously happy to wait for the other two.
I think Faust is pretty good. He's got his little hat. He's ready. He's ready for the road.
Okay, got it. Eleri?
I think I'd like to ask my little guys if
Yeah.
they have any insight on what's about to happen, and where we're going, and if there's anything they can tell me to help.
Yeah. Do you think they like? Are they like? Can they see into the future, or do they know what's happening presently?
It seems quite up to you, I think. So it's very commune with the unseen. When you perform a ritual to commune with the unseen, give a dangerous unseen a string on you and roll plus spirit. Success has things like learn something important from the unseen, which is what I would kind of be aiming for. Bad stuff happens, everything else. So we're hoping that just doesn't happen. But
yeah, if you roll plus spirit for me, then please.
That is a 6. Delightful.
I see.
Never mind.
So, have you failed a roll previously? Because you get +1 if you have.
Oh yes, I have.
Yeah, then you've got a 7.
Yeah. Okay, amazing. Fab. I get 2 questions, and then one of the bad things, which is restless unseen causes a haunting, hungry unseen destroys all non-sentient life in a small area, stern unseen judge me inflicting a condition, just for you to ponder which one of those I deserve.
Go ahead and choose 2 from the 10 plus list.
Yeah, in that case, I would like to learn something important from the unseen, and I would also potentially alter the unseen nature of a place, wondering if that is something like helping obscure our tracks.
Okay, absolutely. You can obscure your tracks, because like I said, you get the impression that somebody's going to be coming after you. Sibran did try and come after you, so yeah, your tracks are being muffled and covered a little bit by the unseen. You can kind of see them like, flitting about and kind of like almost like tidying up, like brushing away your footsteps as you head on through.
Thank you.
It's okay, we got you, Eleri, we love you. And as for learning something important from the unseen, I think that they'll kind of whisper in your ear, Eleri, the princess is right to go to Dennis Amrys. That's correct. But you may not be alone there.
Okay. Well, we like friends. More friends is good friends.
Yeah, I love it. It's great. And as for I'm going to give you a condition, because I think conditions are fun.
That's fair.
You know what? Judging off of your reaction just then, go ahead and take the frightened condition.
Fair.
Yeah. So that will usually come into play when you're trying to kind of like make a roll, and such. Okay, cool. So you head on out. So what is the plan? Are you gonna just kind of like keep going? It's gonna be like a long hike. You may have to like camp out, for the night, rather than just keep going, because it's been a long day. It's not like you had any chance to rest beforehand. You were in the ball. And it's been a high pressure day, let's say. So it's up to you if you want to keep pushing through, but it will probably affect you if you do.
I think I would definitely lean towards resting. We're not an active gal by any means. We're more of a thinker than a runner. So
you might have to work quite hard to convince Mathilda of that, because I think, especially with the sense of urgency of being followed, I think if you sort of slow down to stop Mathilda as like, we have to press on. We don't know, things could get so much worse if we don't continue.
Yeah, but if we go into it blind and tired, like, is any of us going to be any use? And my little guys, like, I have faith in my friends.
Your little guys?
Yeah, Have you not met Dave? They're just look. Okay, so
I don't know if
Can I
you
see
hear them.
you
I don't.
can't. No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, wait.
Oh. Oh. They're like desperately trying to
Okay.
wave to you, Mathilda. Like, hello, Mathilda. Hi.
Yeah, I
Fun.
don't think you do.
Okay.
Unless it's one of my.
They like look at you, Eleri, and shrug. Like,
Nah. No.
No.
I don't know whether I know that you can't or not. Because I
Um,
think a lot of the social cues would read into
Yeah.
I'm talking to everyone that's present.
Yeah. Exactly. Nobody's ever asked. You know.
mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Mathilda looks deeply distressed. Another one of her commandments is never go unchaperoned with a certain type of person, and that's certain type
Why,
of person.
what?
Yeah, yeah, I know. And I was like, how do I? So I've made it never go unchaperoned or at all with a certain type of person in quotations monsters because that's I know that's so Mathilda, who previously was like, this is fine because Eleri is normal, is now going, oh no, I was wrong. I misread this situation. So she's freaking out a little bit.
Okay.
Whoops.
Okay, Larry, you freaked out Mathilda.
Mhm.
Faust, it looks like you might be the deciding vote here.
Okay. Faust, I'm going to suggest that we rest because the unpreparedness from going in exhausted is much worse than any risk of we have it being caught, because I am a stoat and I can find us with my stoat nose somewhere safe to rest.
Wonderful. With your stoat nose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the princess kind of goes, sure, use your stoat nose. Yeah.
Okay.
I think she's in shock. I think she's kind of rocked by everything that's happened. She set her betrothed on fire a little bit. The room kind of exploded that she was in a little bit. Yeah, so she's freaking out a little bit.
I would be.
Yeah.
So Mathilda, it looks like your two companions want to rest. What do you say?
Yeah, she's just going to. She's really uncomfortable, but okay. Well, if you will insist, I will keep watch then.
Good. Someone should do that. This is the princess. Okay, let's. Faust, you can find us a place that you believe is safe.
Okay, so I'm going to scurry down off her shoulder and go through all of the leaves and the undergrowth and pop up on my little hind legs and sniff the air very delicately in a few directions and then go that way. There's a sheltered cave that way, which is hidden by a little brush, so we won't be spotted.
Nice. Yeah, I'm not going to make you roll anything for that. You're a stoat. This is what you do.
Thank you.
Of course. Yeah, so the four of you head towards the cave. And I think you get there and, you know, it's a far cry from what any of you, I think, are used to, except maybe you, Faust. And actually, Eleri, do you, like, hang out in the woods? I just feel like that's something you might do, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't really see the difference between castle and woodland. It's all space
Blurred together for you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
For sure. Yeah, I think you two are doing fine. I think Ellie, forgive me if I'm wrong, but Mathilda might not be doing quite so well, and the princess is in shock. So
Yeah. I think Mathilda's not from like an extreme amount of wealth at all, but she's she's a step above cave, definitely.
Sure.
And I don't think has ever experienced like when she left home, she definitely went from like town to town rather than being out in the wilderness for any period of time.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think you all kind of like try and settle down in this cave. I think the princess will say, "Somebody get us a pile of wood or something."
Of course, yes. Let me allow me. And Mathilda goes and tries to cut down some spare like bits of twig with her massive
twig?
sword.
With the sword.
With the sword, just being like.
Okay, with the sword. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Can you please roll plus daring for me?
Cool.
Because this is that's a
it's-
daring thing to try and do in my book.
That is a 6.
A 6. No, I cannot let the tree fall on you or the twigs fall on you. Okay, yeah, I think you try with the sword to kind of like chop into like a little spruce that's popped up, but it doesn't quite make a bit of a dent. And I think you're like really about to start going ham on it when you hear a kind of voice reverberating of the sword, like, no.
I think the sword is telling me off.
Not for that. Not for that, dear.
I'm not sure. That's not what I'm built for.
Yeah.
I'm not an axe.
Truly, I'm offended. Says the sword.
Yeah, Mathilda just sort of looks at the sword, and like doesn't have a conversation with it because she doesn't talk to thin air. That would be strange and improper.
Are you nearby?
Hey.
But she does just go, okay. Reholsters the sword and starts just trying to like grab bits of bark and pull them off with her bare hands instead.
Oh, okay. Sure. You're a strong person. You could do that. Your hands are going to be goofed up big time, but...
Yeah. Ow.
Yeah, big ow. But you do plonk some wood in front of the princess, and she, almost without even giving it a second thought, waves her hand and fire erupts. And you've got a little fire for yourselves. Yeah, were you chopping down and having like a little staring contest with the sword nearby or further away?
I'll say nearby.
Bye. Okay, cool. I don't think the princess would have specifically noticed because she's in shock and she was just like, okay, just get the fire going. Do you think any of you would have noticed?
I think Faust
Mary?
noticed and went.
There's pigs over there. Why didn't you pick them up?
Yeah, why did you do that?
Yeah, there's definitely some logic questioning of the fresh wood being used because dry wood burns. But also, you staring confused at your sword is the most normal or appropriate thing I've seen you do so far. So, like, yeah, I get it. Like, Tool is not behaving. Talk to Tool. This tracks.
Because, like, from everyone else's point of view, you went up to a tree with a sword, started whacking at it, was not having any success, stared at it accusingly, and then put it away and started ripping the bark off with your bare hands. So that's what we saw. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that, yeah, Larry and Faust, something weird was up with that, yeah. And I'm even gonna say the princess noticed something was weird with it. She's in shock, but that's weird. So. Yeah, she'll kind of turn to Mathilda and go, what was that?
Oh, sorry, it's just, I thought it would be useful, but, well, sometimes I get my intuition tells me what, this sword may and may not be useful for, and, it told me, I mean, my intuition, not the sword, told me that I probably shouldn't use it for that. Although I'm still sort of learning about it. It's a bit of a. Have I told you how I came across my sword?
No.
It's a bit of a funny story actually. Maybe this will take your mind off things.
She takes a seat on a rock, looking up at you aghast.
So one day I was walking by like the past Glastonbury, and well, funny old thing. This hand popped out of the lake, holding the sword, and then it was just like a full woman just hanging out in the lake. She handed it to me, and here I am, you know, with the sword.
Mathilda, you look at your friend Spooky Witch your friend the Stoat, and your friend the Dragon Princess. You realize you're the weirdest fucking one out of all of them. They all stare at you.
She's like, oh no, I've done a social bad.
The princess is kind of like, a woman in the lake?
Yes.
Okay.
She was
Sure.
not. Don't worry. She wasn't like, you know, in distress or anything. She seemed quite at home in the lake.
Worse, I would say. I'd say that's worse.
Yes. Well, when you say it like that, it sounds like a bad thing. But I've had nothing but good intuition from this sword. So
You keep mentioning intuition. Is that important to you?
it is. It is now.
What brought it about?
I have been on a I'm still learning a lot of things about this land in the west, in Wales, and I suppose I'm learning new things about the world and about myself, and I guess I'm having a bit of an evaluate on my current way of looking at things, and I feel like I'm learning from you and Eleri and the good Mr. Faust. She stares kind of awkwardly at Faust. She's still just like not comfortable with you at all. A thing or two about intuition and trusting your feelings is the done thing here. Correct.
In Wales, generally?
Yes.
Suppose.
Good. Yes.
Well, if I'm honest, I did worry that you would throw me to Sabran. I thought you would send me back, but you're the one who brought me out here in the first place, so I suppose you are trusting your intuition then.
I can't quite say I understand where you're at emotionally with
Me neither.
Sabran. Yes.
With
yeah.
Sabran? No, I know that.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Well,
I don't love
perhaps-
the man. I don't love him, and then making me marry him because it's a good choice, and I don't love him. So.
And that's important because
you should be in love with the person.
Important.
Yes.
Right.
So, okay, I couldn't say it back then because we were in the middle of a huge ball and whatever, but the whole thing with the scarf and the box is weird, okay? That's you can't do that. Even I know that, and that's literally what I'm supposed to be doing, suppressing everything. Why are you suppressing things?
Well,
You're just a not normal person, but, not royal, so you can just live the way you want to. Why aren't you doing that?
So, where I'm from, it's not
the East.
The East, yes, the East. It's not usually seen as appropriate to have outlandish displays of affection or emotion, and I thought that seemed entirely reasonable, personally, because feelings are very inconvenient and can be sort of gross and sticky, and I didn't, you're sort of imposing them on other people. Not that you're imposing them on, because you're the princess, and that's, but I guess my point is that I sort of understand where the king and queen are coming from when they're asking you to keep up appearances, and you're all looking at me with the same face.
I'm sure. Yes, you keep everything buried right down, Mathilda. I'm sure that's correct. I think the princess is going to look at the two of you, Faust and Eleri, like, can you say something to them?
I'd like to turn to the princess and go, I think I've made a social faux pas. Could I have my belt back?
She like looks down at her. You put it over her shoulders, right?
Yeah.
She looks up. Yeah. What? Take it. Yeah. Yes. Here you go. Here you are.
My bad. When explained that clearly, I correctly interpret that is not the way that we make friends. And yes, Mathilda, you got this. You're on a path, and we love that for you. Keep going. And I turned to Faust, and I was like, did I do good?
Faust has just had a deeply and profoundly emotionally changing experience listening to this conversation, because he was super suspicious of Mathilda before, and now he's like, that's my child. And I must protect her with my life.
Yeah.
And Eleri, who he feels like he's got a thing going with Eleri already. Like, he feels like she gets him in a kind of way, and he's like, yeah, no, you're doing good. You're growing.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Can I ask, Eira, do you think this would be an opportune moment to become smitten with Mathilda, not in like a romantic way, but in like a "oh my god, baby," you know?
Yeah.
kind
Oh
of
my
way.
god, baby.
I am now your stoat dad.
Yes, that's all she's ever wanted.
And she's really disturbed by him still.
Yeah.
But want your approval, you know, like that kind of weird dichotomy.
Yeah.
So Faust, you now have a string on Faust, Mathilda. And in fact, in your playbook, you have Truths of Heart and Blade. You have a section, and you get to ask one of those questions to Mathilda. Ask Mathilda one of them. So, a beautiful lie. What secret do you have that you think would make them reject you if they knew? Or, I see through you. Who do you want me to be, and what are you afraid of most right now? No, wait. Actually, just the beautiful lie. In fact, what secret do you have that they would that you think would make them reject you if they knew?
So is that me asking Mathilda a question, or is they asking
Yes. Yes, you're finding out about Mathilda.
me? Okay.
And
Wait, hang on. 1 second.
I was gonna say,
And answer this question. Yes, Faust, you answer the question. Or we can both do it. Fuck it. I don't know. Like
Okay. I think that this is his fear with most people, but especially with Mathilda, is that he would think that she'd reject him if she knew that it's his fault that he and his brother are stoats, and that his brother is like fully a stoat, much worse than him. And his brother got it worse because he drank the potion that turned them into stoats first. And Faust waited a little minute and was like, he's fine, and then went in, but it was like a little lag time. So his brother is like, his brother is mentally a stoat. He has stoat babies and lives in a hole. And from Faust's perspective, it's his fault entirely, and he guards this secret. Nobody knows why he's a stoat. They just know that it was some terrible accident. They assume it was done to him.
Okay, yeah. We will. If you want to, Mathilda, you can also answer that question if you would like to like open up with the same thing. The
big thing is that Mathilda is very open with people that she is from England, but she doesn't tell people that she was raised by the Order of the White Dragon, who are in like direct opposition to and actively a threat to, or maybe not actively a threat, but potentially a threat to the royal family that she's now working for. So I think she's, even though she doesn't believe in the place that she called home before anymore, she still obviously has a lot of complicated feelings and affection towards it, and she's very scared of that if anyone in this party were to find out that that was her true background, that they would just immediately completely distrust her.
Okay. Do you two want to have said these things out loud, or do you just want each other to know?
I don't think Faust would admit that to anyone.
I don't think I think we're both way too guarded for that.
Yep.
Good. I'm gonna say, just for the sake of like the role and the smitten thing, that you get the impression that you're both hiding something. If you don't want to like, say it fully, you both know that you're both hiding something. If that's okay with you both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is there anything you want to do before you settle down for the night?
I would like to try and comfort everybody by telling them that this cave is much more homely than the hole my brother lives in. Which is just a hole. I visit him fairly regularly just to see how he's doing. The conversation isn't great, and this conversation is much better, which, it really shows how low the bar is. But, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. We've got a fire now. It's smoky, but there's a fire.
I'm good. I would guard the cave.
Who's leaving the cave? Oh wait, was somebody leaving the cave or no? No.
I was gonna go out and guard the cave.
Guard the cave. Okay, wonderful. Was that you trying to do emotional support for everyone, Faust, or is that just a fun little brilliant? All right, if you can roll heart and spirit for me, please, or plus heart or spirit.
10.
Ooh, okay. All right. Is there anyone particular you're angling this towards, or do you want it to be for like the group at large?
I'm particularly angling it towards Mathilda and the princess, who seem most uncomfortable, because Eleri seems like she's doing okay. She's happy in the cave.
Yeah, Larry loves the cave, right?
Larry seems like a deeply resilient person.
Yeah.
I think I'm like looking at the drips that are down the wall of the cave and just like looking at the ground.
Nice, you're chilling. You love it. Okay. With a 10, I think that the princess will say, right. Thank you, Faust. I don't know. This is not what I'm used to. Absolutely. I don't know what's going to be waiting for us at Dinas Emrys, but I am afraid of what we will find there. I don't know what I'm supposed to do anymore. I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be a monster. This is supposed to be a blessing, but it's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And you can choose one of the following: clear a condition, mark XP, get +1 forward, or gain insight from the GM about an obstacle facing one of you. Faust. And you take a string on the princess.
Okay. I would like to gain insight.
Okay. Anything particularly you want to know about?
I don't know. No. Just a general insight, I think.
Okay. Generally, I think that, the thing that is pulling the princess to Dinas Emrys is something that's like deep inside of her. You don't think it's her intuition. You almost think it is the blessing's intuition. Something deep in her core to do with this blessing is pulling her there.
Okay.
And Mathilda, with the 10+, you can choose to open up if you want to. You can choose one from the list, and so can Faust.
Which list is this?
So, under emotional support.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a little list there that you can use. But does Mathilda open up?
I don't think... I mean, not beyond what she's already said about her home being a little bit repressed.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that when the princess is like, oh, you know, I don't want to be a monster, she doesn't know what to say, because she's like, well, you are.
Say it, do it.
But she's not going to say that. But I guess she'll sort of like do a little awkward English pat on the shoulder of like, they're there, you know, it's gonna be okay, and kind of try to offer a little bit of warmth and support in the most kind of stunted way that she possibly can.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you can either clear a condition, mark XP, gain +1 forward, or gain insight from me. You have got your insecure condition if you want to.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm torn about whether I clear my condition or get some insight from you. Is it like just general insight, or can I ask a specific question?
You can ask something specific, yeah. I'll allow that.
Yeah, I'll ask a question, which I guess I'd like to know more about Dinas Emrys, about like, is there any significance to that spot in particular?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that you would know in the modern day, definitely. I think that you would have heard with your travels what the kind of connotation and the feeling around that place is. According to legend, that is where the red dragon and the white dragon fought.
Cool.
And that was where they continue to fight to this day.
Yeah, I guess I'd know it under a different English name. What is Dinas Emrys? Merlin Town? Merlin Town.
Merlin Town. USA. But definitely with being a part of the White Dragon's order, you would know this is a significant place.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, all right. I'm just not going to say anything outwardly, but I think Mathilda is just going to be like, well, you should get some rest, all of you. I will. I'll be out on a watch, and if anyone wants to join me, you're welcome to. But there's absolutely no need.
Okay, thank you, Mathilda. The princess kind of like is still sat on the rock, kind of like staring out up at the sky, I think. But yeah, does everyone want to hunker down?
I think so.
Okay.
I think just before we do, I think Eleri would kind of go over to the princess and be like, I think I've read a lot of this wrong, but monsters aren't always bad. Normally they're just the labels that we put on them.
She nods, and I think she will kind of like, she's not looking at you, but she will eventually say, you're so vibrant. You do what you want to, and you don't care if anyone's watching. I've been watching because I wish I could be like that.
I care, but I don't know how else to be. And it's good and bad. But if you ever want to join me, I'd be happy to be there with you. Quite fun sometimes.
It looks it. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead and take a string on the princess, Eleri, because she respects you in a way that not many people have before. Yep. And with that, if you don't want to do anything else, you'll hunker down for bed. Anybody got anything else they want to do? Wonderful. All right. So, the next day, you are heading straight to Dinas Emrys?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So, making your way along. It's been a long, hard night. Your sleep wasn't ideal, but you did get some sleep, which, is definitely an asset for the coming day. Yeah, I think just because she feels it in herself where she's going, I think you trust her. You trust the princess to know where you're going. Something I think you begin to notice as you're walking is that the princess looks almost like have her teeth elongated slightly, have her scales spread a little bit, maybe. And there is an ever-present heat emanating out of her. And I think if you're thinking of saying this, she kind of beats you to the punch, and she just is looking down at herself, and she's like, "It's getting worse. It's getting worse. I don't know why it's getting worse, but it is."
Not to worry. We'll go to Dinas Emrys, and I'm sure everything will be fine.
How do you know that?
I just know. I just have a good feeling.
Does anyone else have a good feeling? That's what I thought.
I'm
Okay.
just gonna Matilda's just gonna elbow Eleri.
Yes. Eventually, things will work out in a manner that is, and like double checking Matilda, trying to like, what words would you like me to say here? Like, good. It will be good.
Just got to, roll our sleeves up, crack on, and I'm sure everything will work itself out. That's it. It always does. It always does.
She looks to Faust.
I think in situations like these, the only thing you can do is move forward. For instance, when I became a stoat, there wasn't really another option. So I just had to keep looking for a way to not be a stoat, because
You
that's
became a
ultimately
stoat?
what I want. Yes. It was an accident of which we do not speak.
I'm gonna elbow
That's it.
Matilda now. She'll be like, see?
Stop hitting each other, the princess says, like she's like a mum and you're in the back of the car.
But right now we don't know what's happening, and at least we have a destination and a goal we're moving towards. I have been trying to read through an entire library, which is very difficult because most books are larger than me. So you might not be lucky. It is difficult, but at least we have a place to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Is the library an analogy or?
No, it's a literal library.
Right.
It's quite hard to pull a book off a shelf when you weigh less than the book.
I see. I understand. Oh, okay.
The amount of times dictionaries have nearly squashed me, let me tell you.
I would be happy to assist you if that's an issue for you.
That would be wonderful. I'm so proud.
I've noticed a shift in your dynamic. It's gotten weirder. I don't.
Well on it.
Okay. Okay. By the way, Eleri, have you shared any insight about what the unseen told you about where you're going?
I think we've been trying to wait until like a planning discussion has popped up, because like jumping into the very heavy emotion yesterday with, by the way, there's a big scary thing maybe, or a friend in the future, there hasn't been necessarily, no, we haven't mentioned it yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But if we talked about planning,
okay.
Oh, I'm ready.
Oh. I don't think there's any plan in the princess's mind. I think she's just like, I'm just going there and seeing what's happening. That's what I'm following my intuition.
Mm-hmm.
So you march on. Okay, wonderful. Eventually, you do get to Dinas Emrys. It is a wide open space. There are a few hills to climb to get there. As you can imagine, it's like surrounded by kind of like trees that are almost kind of like, the like kind of brambly trees that are kind of like a bit of an obstacle for you, but you like crawl your way through. The princess is able to kind of like set a few of them on fire to get them out of your way.
Hacking through them with my sword. Not Beauty and the Beast. What's it?
Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty style.
Yeah, for sure. And the sword kind of goes, fine. Fine, I guess.
What do you want from me?
I'm to
Be
fight
helpful.
someone with a sword. It's what the sword's for.
Sorry.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. You see Mathilda kind of like looking apologetic at her sword.
I think Eleri's gonna try and assume that there is some deep relationship going on there, but like no clue what, but just the like you are genuinely,
one with the sword.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah. Okay, so you head through, and you come into this huge clearing. It's enclosed in the kind of the brambly trees and the brambles themselves. It's open and sparse. A few rocks dotted everywhere, but you can't really see why this would be a significant place to the princess. And she kind of even looks around and she's like, hello? Anyone? I don't know what I was expecting. I thought, oh no, guidance of some kind?
Well, there's someone here.
She like looks to you.
There it is.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, we got told.
By who? You're pointing at the tree? The trees told
And you
you?
talk to a sword. Let's not like point fingers, shall we?
The princess marches up to the tree like, hello!
No, they're
Please.
slightly to the right, like, and I turn and I can see that she's now like head level with a will o' the wisp and be like, see?
Hello!
Mathilda just gets
Trees
even
not
paler.
The tree's not saying anything to me, Eleri. What am I doing wrong?
It's the spirits. The spirits were said that there was someone here.
The spirits.
Does Mathilda look well to you?
Not at all, no. But then
Okay.
again, whom of us does? Okay. I don't know what you're talking about, but did they say who was here? Any kind of information?
They said we wouldn't be alone.
And you trust them?
Yes.
Okay. And I think that's going to be when the princess kind of closes her eyes and takes a deep breath and kind of she'll kneel down and she'll kind of place her hands on the greenery, on the grass, and she'll kind of okay, you're right. Someone's here. Someone is here. Can you look with me, please?
Yes, of course. Are they a friend or foe?
I don't know. Just someone.
Okay. Mathilda's just gonna have her sword drawn while she looks around the space.
There. Okay, you've got that ready. Fab. Anything else anyone wants to do?
Can I have a sniff around to see if I can smell anybody?
Absolutely, you can. Yes. I'm going to say, can you make me a roll plus wit just to see?
Yeah.
Just to see what's going on.
9.
Okay. With a mixed success. Faust. You're sniffing around. You pick up a scent for sure. The scent of a living, breathing thing. You are hot on the trail. You scamper around through the underbrush. And you're like, oh yeah, no, I've got it now. you kind of are sniffing up against a wall, and you're like, okay, it's close. It's very close. And you realize it's not a wall. You look up, and it's gray. No. Ashen. No. It's white, but it's dark. And you take a step back, and you see the huge sleeping form of a massive white dragon that you found in a cave just over where you were looking before.
Okay. I'm
You can see
going
it's
to.
slowly rising and dropping as it breathes. And it's huge. It's gargantuan compared to you.
I'm going to very quietly scurry back and sort of in a whisper, which is very quiet because he speaks very quietly normally.
Of course.
It's like
Mhm.
we are definitely not alone. And I would advise that we will be extremely on our guard and back away very slowly and very quietly.
Is it Sir Bran again?
No. Much worse than that.
The king?
Big, scary teeth, the D word. Back away.
Faust, she's right there.
No. White one.
Oh, okay.
Faust, can you please give me a defy disaster roll?
Okay.
Oh!
I roll that plus.
Plus whichever stat you wish, whichever you think fits the situation. Yeah, you tell me what you think.
Okay. I think I'm going to go with wit rather than, because the other one I think would work was daring, and I don't think it's that daring to say back up. I think it's like
True.
the opposite of that. So we'll go with wit. So
It's smart to back away from the big, large dragon. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
I would say so.
It's a plan. Okay. So that's Okay, 8 plus 2, so 10. So not
10.
terrible.
Not terrible at all. No, that's a success fully. Okay. With this. Okay. You manage it very well. You don't wake the dragon up. The four of you are like backing up. You are at a safe distance. You know that. You can also learn information, discover a new opportunity, or gain a string on someone. Any of those
Okay.
appeal to you?
I would like to know some more information about the dragon if I can.
Sure. What specifically would you like to know?
I don't know what's going to happen if it wakes up. Can I ask that?
Sure, you can ask that. Absolutely. If this dragon wakes up, depends on the method of waking, I think.
Okay.
If they're startled and feel afraid, feel like they're being attacked, then they will attack back. If you manage to wake this dragon up with some care, you think that would be a much better option.
Okay. So now we're at a safe distance and we've regrouped. Again, quite quietly, quite consciously. I'm going to communicate this insight to everyone else, and add that I think that we should consider maybe rousing this dragon, as we've been called here and we have no other possible way forward. Maybe waking it up might be the best idea, but who would be the best person to do this?
You want to wake up the dragon?
Well, my thinking is that we've come all of the way out here and something was calling to you, and something tells me that the thing that was drawing you here, it's coming from outside of you. It's something else. We don't fully understand what it is. We don't really know. And our options are to go back to the castle and leave things exactly as they were before, or to try something different and change it.
Okay. Try something different.
Okay.
She looks at Eleri and Mathilda.
I mean, it sounds mad, but I also can't fault the logic. I don't know what else we do at this point. I'm a little reluctant to wake the dragon. I don't want to hurt it, but I also don't want it to hurt us.
Mm-hmm.
I can see why you'd be reluctant. It's like a turn of phrase and everything. Don't wake the dragon.
But yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a turn of phrase here. Interesting. Okay.
Yes. There you go. You're learning every day. Look at you go. But I honestly think we've come this way. We've risked a lot to be here. The fallout will be monumental. I think we either face metaphorical fire or real fire, and either way, we're taking our chances. I will concede and not wake the dragon, but I really think that if we accidentally wake it up without trying to do this purposefully and taking the choice and the initiative to do this, then things could be much worse. Eleri, you deal with spiritual things.
I mean, I haven't spoken to a dragon before, but I'm not opposed to trying.
I love that. A forthright spirit.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. I mean, my one, if we're all obsessing over intuition, that definitely isn't talking swords. Princess, what are you feeling?
I think a sort of, it might be ridiculous, but a kinship. I'm not sure. I
think talking is the way.
You mean you don't want to fight it?
I don't know. That's what I'm meant to do, right? According to... Isn't there an old wives' tale about this? Or
I believe so, yes.
I don't think propriety is where we're at right now with this. I'm going to be honest. The four of us.
Yeah.
Let's try.
Yeah, I'd say if the voice inside of you is calling this kinship and it's not telling you to fight, why are we listening to what your parents and the whole structure of society is telling us what to do? If you feel kinship, why are we running?
Okay, that makes sense. Yes, everything I've ever been told my life is just obviously wrong. I can't smother this, I can't bury it. I need to do something else. Will you three support me?
Of course.
I have something that might help suggest to the dragon that we don't mean any harm.
Okay.
But you have to promise that this doesn't go any further than this circle, right? Understood? Just so we're all clear.
Conditional acceptance, sure.
Darling, I will take it to my grave.
Am I allowed to tell the spirits?
Sure.
Cool.
And Mathilda's just going to reach under her dress and unclasp a necklace with a chunky bit of opal in it that's got a sort of an insignia of a dragon around it in silver, and is just going to hand it to the princess and say, I think this could be a peace offering of a kind.
You're with the White Dragon?
Not anymore. I was.
Okay, well, maybe, like we say, the old ways are open to folly. So, I will not judge you. And yes, this might make a good offering. Okay. Let's do it, shall we?
Yes.
Right.
I'm in.
So 4 of you make your way up to the dragon. And I think the princess will take the hand that is holding the locket, Mathilda, and she will very gently press it to one of the dragon's talons and will say, "Awake, friend. We mean you no harm." And after a moment, you're not sure if the dragon heard, but you can see one huge eye open up and look at you all, and will kind of like dart around and very slowly will like raise up, and it's like towering over all of you. And Eleri, can you please roll plus spirit for me?
You can indeed.
Wonderful.
That is an 8.
An 8. Wonderful. Okay. With a mixed success. You see the unseen, ironically, kind of like dancing around near you, and you can kind of see that the dragon is kind of glancing around at them. It can see them, and the one of the unseen goes and says to you, "Oh, we can understand her."
Oh, well, this just got a hell of a lot easier. Can she understand you?
Hello. And the the huge dragon will kind of tilt its head, but you see, it seems to understand. Yeah.
Excellent. Say that we're friends, please.
Okay. We're friends. Hello. You get the opinion, the feeling that they can convey things to this dragon, but they're not going to put it the most articulately, but they can do it.
Yeah, that tracks.
The dragon realizes that you can confer with them, and you see that it kind of like, can a dragon light up? I'm not sure, but it like looks between you all, and then the unseen says to you, "Okay, the dragon's name is Fion."
Oh, hi, Fion.
The dragon raises up even higher and just like is like staring at you like, oh my god. What else would you like us to say?
Good question. I'm going to turn this into a chain of events of like passing whispers down the line with the others, because I'm presuming you have no idea what's going on. Mm-hmm. So I'm specifically going to turn to Mathilda to make you acknowledge that this is happening. Of the spirits can talk to the dragon, so we can talk.
Oh, good. Okay. Great. This is so strange. Oh, okay. Well, has the dragon said anything?
Her name is Fion.
Right. Okay. Anything else? Faust, do you think you're good with words?
Ask it if it knows what called us here.
Ask it if it knows what called us here. I know that they can hear Faust. I just think this is funny.
Yeah, absolutely. And then they turn around like, "Do you know what called us here?" And it's just a chain reaction. And you all kind of like hear and feel the kind of whoosh of air as this dragon kind of leans closer to you all, and it like closes in, and it's like, I think all of you take like a little bit of a step back, but maybe except for you, Eleri, maybe. Yeah.
No, I'm so down for this. I'm very happy with where I'm at.
Nice. And you see it kind of communicate with the unseen for a minute, and they will start to impart what she is saying. I'm going to do this still in the unseen's voice because that makes sense. I fought it for years, but the fire, the hunger, I lost.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you, Eleri?
Like, kinda, I guess. So it sounds like she fought something called the hunger, or she was hungry, or there was food involved. Not sure, but she lost, so that sucks. Tell her we're sorry.
We're sorry. The dragon kind of goes.
I think I understand. Is this what's going to happen to the princess?
The princess is looking utterly terrified, and is like, I hope to God not.
But it's because she was fighting against it. So how do you stop it without fighting it? I don't understand.
I think you hear the unseen say, I don't want to be like this, but every time I fought against it, it got worse.
Yeah, I think Mathilda's hit the nail on the head there. It's fighting it seemed to make it worse. That's not easy.
The princess says, so you used to be like me? And the dragon, without the unseen saying anything, just nods.
All friends.
And the princess says, so fighting against it is what did this? She's going to very slowly again step forward and put a hand on their talon again, and she'll, completely trusting this dragon for some reason she can't explain, she turns back to all of you and says, so if I embrace it, maybe that will help.
Maybe.
I think that would be best.
Okay. I'm going to ask each of you to make a roll for me. And I want you to do whatever you can to help support both the princess and the dragon here, and help them embrace the feeling of the dragon's power. How would each of you like to do that?
I would like to try and convince them that there's no point in trying to fight what you are, and say, you know, there is a sense in always like moving forwards and trying to be better, but there is a truth about what you are, and those things, you cannot hide them, and burying them will make things terrible. And just logically, it doesn't make sense, because if you are always trying to fight against what you truly are by your nature, then you're going to be spending so much time trying to keep that hidden that you're going to miss everything else going on around you. So why would you fight it?
I love that. Amazing. What kind of role would you like to do with that? Or move?
I'm not sure. I feel like if I go always theorizing again,
yeah,
because it's it's like positing a philosophy of ethics,
yeah,
really, here about existing. So
absolutely, yeah. So you can roll plus wit for figure a person out, and you can add +1 for each string you have on them. Did you get a string on the princess? I feel like you did.
I got 2 strings on the princess.
Then add 2. Go for it.
Yeah. So I rolled briefly forgot to count. 10 and
Nice.
+2 for wit and +2, so that's 14.
Perfect. Amazing. Okay, we'll come back to that. Mathilda, how would you like to help?
I think Mathilda will look down at the talon where the opal necklace is currently lying, and look back to the princess and the dragon and say, before I told you that it was best to ignore your feelings. I think it maybe got mixed up in the metaphor with the scarf, but and maybe that was a good thing in hindsight. But well, that's always worked for me before, or at least I thought it did, and that's how we did things in the Order of the White Dragon. Because the truth is messy and complicated and often much more difficult to reconcile with than whatever you're pretending to feel. But truthfully, I wasn't happy, and I don't think anyone else there was. We were all so busy trying our very best to not impose on each other that we imposed on ourselves. I think it can be hard to be truthful, but if I'm being truthful with you, I've been really scared since being here, and I was scared because of who I am and where I'm from, that you wouldn't want me around, and your parents, I'm not scared anymore. And well, once I told you the truth, and once I allowed that to be, once I allowed myself to live with that, I felt lighter than I have in, well, as long as I can remember.
Amazing. Okay. Can you please make a move for me of whatever you think feels right?
I mean, I told her about my home.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would be rolling plus heart. I'm not very good at heart. So I'm not sure about that, but I'll do it anyway. I also think one of my commandments is never admit to your weak emotions,
Mm-hmm.
and I would want to change that to a conviction that being honest with your emotions makes you strong.
Amazing.
And yeah, I don't know if I get anything from that in this particular context, but
I think if you're looking for somebody who to agree with that conviction, I think the princess nods and she says, yeah.
Great.
You're right.
Then I will take a string on her.
Mm-hmm.
Can I use that string to roll +1 heart?
Absolutely, go for it.
Or cancel out my bad heart roll?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 9.
9, okay. So this is for people are people.
People are people.
You roll plus heart. 7 to a 9, you choose 1. You can admit a flaw about your home and gain +1 forward. Share something good about your home to clear a condition, or lie about your home to impress the listener, then take a string on them.
I think I'm gonna. Well, I have admitted a flaw about my home to gain +1 forward.
Nice. So you get a +1 going forward. And you can see that this hits home with the princess, but also particularly with the white dragon. Because if legends are to be believed, this white dragon is from England, the East.
Euphemistic East.
Yes. And so, yes, Fionn knows exactly where you're coming from with that, and she slowly nods at you. Amazing. Eleri, what would you like?
Cry. I think
You weep openly.
Basically, yeah. Like, but all of this is happening. Eleri is just sobbing in the corner. I think that she has struggled to find connection because of societal norms telling her that she's an outcast, and the way that she sees and interacts with the world is wrong or strange or weird. And clearly these people have got similar struggles happening. Fionn has been fully, from the looks of it, outcast because of something that she couldn't help, and Eleri is just relating very heavily to that right now, because it's so hard sometimes when you want to be yourself and you can't fit in. And even through that, though, they found each other, and I think she can see the kinship there, and it's just really beautiful that sometimes being weird and being the odd one out means that you find the other odd ones out, and sometimes you befriend a goat, it's not a goat, a stoat.
You have another goat friend, but they're not here, so yeah.
Honestly, all of the animals, and yeah, a repressed person from the east, and it can be beautiful. And I think Eleri's just really feeling that feeling right now. And I think that the sort of move that would potentially make the most sense in that sense is either going to be, well, for her, it's probably going to be entice, because she's viewing this through a very logical lens, and explaining all of this in a very like pragmatic, logical sense that I don't have the emotional capability to roleplay right now beyond just being like, pretend I said all of this in nerd language, because I'm just, y'all really set me going. But yeah, that's where Eleri's at.
Amazing. So with talk nerdy to me, to entice someone, you can roll with plus wit instead of heart. So would you like to do that now?
Yes. Yeah. And string on the princess, can I use plus? Is that
yes.
plus 1?
+1. Yes.
Amazing. Fantastic. So that is a 10 plus 2 plus 1. So 13.
Whoo! Y'all really pulled it out. Oh my goodness.
Finally.
Yeah. And also, in addition, you can choose an area of study that holds special interest for you. You have top-tier knowledge of this area and are always prepared with an interesting or useful fact. That doesn't come into play right now, but if you had a fact you wanted to share, you could.
I think she's going to say that 1 is the loneliest number. But 2 isn't as bad as 1.
Oh, perfection.
Like through tears.
Yeah. I want to give you, so it's the end of the session, but I want to give you something for it. You level up. I don't know. You all level up. Okay, with those fantastic rolls and with the fantastic sentiment behind them as well. And Eleri, I think your feeling of the kinship, about feeling like you're an outcast, this hits both of them right where it needed to. And I think you can see that the princess is smiling at you. You can't see it from Fionn, but you hear one of the little unseen go, Fionn's happy. And with that, you can see the human body of the princess and the draconic body of Fionn. They press their foreheads together and close their eyes. And in an instant, it's not a huge dragon stood there, but it's a woman. She has long curly hair. She looks a bit bedraggled, but she is like, she's there. She's a woman. The dragon is gone. And you can also see on the princess, that the scales have rescinded, and the constant heat you could feel has ebbed away. And they both open their eyes and see a human woman stood in front of them, forehead to forehead, and kind of pull back and look down at themselves. And Fionn says, I've been that way for so long I couldn't remember what it was like to be me. But I guess this is me. She looks to the three of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. She looks to the princess. I think we're supposed to fight now, but I don't want to. And the princess kind of wipes some tears away from her eyes and says, no, me neither. I think we need to embrace who we are, and I don't know if I can go back to what I was before. She looks to the three of you. Do I have to go back?
No, and we're with you the entire way.
And if you do go back, you can do it on your terms.
Okay. I think maybe a little holiday is in order, at the very least. Maybe I can remember what it's like to be me. And with that, I think we will come to a close on the session. Would you like to tell me, the three of you, what you think each of you does in the aftermath of this? Do you go back to the castle? Do you go out into the world with a fresh new perspective? Or do you stay with Fionn and Iwan? What do you think? Should we start with Faust?
I think this has really made Faust reevaluate his feelings about being a stoat.
Oh!
And now he's like, well, there have been significant advantages to being a stoat, and he couldn't have kept people safe, and he couldn't have helped people had he not been a stoat. So maybe he should just take his own advice and be a stoat. And he kind of feels very protective over the whole little clutch of people. So yeah, that's how he feels. He's changed, and I think that it will make him shift his path from quite a selfish one, which is focused on like trying to stop himself from being a stoat and just embracing his life and moving forward and finding out who he is as a stoat.
Nice. Do you think you stay out there with the two dragon ladies and like embrace? Yeah,
I think so. At least visiting regularly.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, wonderful. I think you find yourself a little found family with everyone here, and I think you definitely go on to flourish, and I think you're able to kind of go back and see your brother, and just kind of like live in the moment with him and enjoy his company and his family's company too. Mathilda, what about you?
Oh, I can't think of anything more found family than two dragon ladies, a witch, a repressed English woman, and a stoat.
That's it.
That's like a standard house share, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Rainbow flags everywhere. Yeah, absolutely.
I think Mathilda definitely stays with Fiona and the Princess and Faust, and maybe spend some of her time actively, openly talking to the sword and trying to figure out what it's all about. Maybe it finally tells her that it's actually Excalibur, and she can actually ask someone what that means. And
cut to you and the princess like, Excalibur. Wait, what? Shaking the lapels.
I think she will probably rely on Eleri quite a lot to kind of get in touch with that spiritual side of her and start to go from being a bit scared and apprehensive about the little will-o'-the-wisps to be more kind of appreciative of the spiritual side of things. And I believe that around this time in North Wales was one of the first universities that was established in the UK, and I think it might be nice to go on a little trip to the university with Faust and just read some books to him in the library, whatever his choice of books are.
Help him not get squished by
Help him not get squished by books. Maybe it's
Love
not
that.
about finding a cure now and just about pure scientific discovery, but just kind of trying to help him out and be an ally.
Yes. Make a great ally. And I think as well, with Eleri's help, the two of you managed to kind of figure out that if you go to a nearby body of water, there may be more that the Lady of the Lake has to say.
Oh, okay.
Ooh!
Ooh, sequel. Nice.
Eleri, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I found someone else that can talk to the spirits with Fionn, so I'm gonna lean heavily on that and just like they found each other, but I also lean into my dragon ladies. I think we try and help the princess, like also see if she can communicate with them and like what other things they have that they haven't tapped into since they've been trying to hide from themselves. I think there would be lots of encouragement of solo dancing parties. Just all around the place. Definitely helping Mathilda get comfortable talking to spirits she can't see, acting as a translator and leaning into that. I think just having a wonderful time, like watching Faust like get comfy it as a stoat and all of that stuff. I think the fact that the Will-o'-the-Wisps like would follow Faust around a lot.
Yeah.
Because they have similar movement speeds and patterns and just have a fun time.
Adorable.
All good.
Love that. And with that, you have your little found family out in the woods. For now, who knows what will happen later on, but for now, you spend some time out in nature finding yourselves and getting to know each other. And that's where we will leave things tonight. Thank you very much, everyone, for playing Thirsty Sword Lesbians with me. Thank you. Had a lovely time.
Thank you.
Of course, yeah. No, I had a whale of a time. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone.
Whales of a time.
We just scream and the stream ends. Let's go around and say where we can all find each other. Shall we start with the wonderful Eira? Where can people find you?
Yes, you can find me on Blue Sky at Hanging Sloth or on Tumblr at Hanging Sloth Central, or on hangingslothstudios.com, and all of my shows are available wherever you listen to podcasts, but that website is probably your best bet.
Amazing. Ellie, how about you?
You can find me in most places online, although not X anymore, ew, at Welsh_Webster. The best place to find me at the moment is where Deck of Many Aces is. So we are on Blue Sky, we are on Tumblr, deckofmanyaces.tumblr.com. We have a website as well, and you can catch us on TikTok as well a little bit, but Blue Sky and Tumblr, the best places to have a chat.
Wonderful. Big shout out for that name, Deck of Many Aces. So good, such a good name.
Thank you.
So good. And Kat, how about you?
You can find me anywhere on the internet under the username CatDoesMaths. If it's not on there, I'm not on that platform. I managed to get the best bang for my buck when I came up with my username. But mostly you can find me here on Twitch. So I live stream maths and study streams and sometimes tomfoolery like this over on my channel, CatDoesMaths.
Wonderful stuff. And I've been Liv Kennedy. Hi, I'm part of Three Black Halflings. So that's the number 3 Black Halflings. We're available most places where pods are cast. And it's all about playing TTRPGs and talking about being people of color and our experience in the TTRPG industry. And as for me, you can find me, I'm at Does Dark Magic on most things. Except for Blue Sky, where I'm Liv Kennedy. I need to figure that out. Stick to a lane. And also, you can find me streaming at twitch.tv/Olivia Does Dark Magic. And yeah, big shout out again to Science and Sorcery for having us and allowing us to make a story about being Welsh and queer, and we love that. Did you know that Becoming the Dragon was an allegory for queerness? Wow.
No!
What? I know! So, I'm Nobel Prize for me. But yeah, thank you so much, and thank you so much for Pride in STEM as well for allowing us to do this. Oh, I hit my mic. But yeah, thanks so much, everyone, and we'll head on out. But yeah, see you again soon. Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye.